Welcome to another Vlogstar episode of How I Do Things. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between a content creator, an influencer, and a thought leader. But before I get there, I have got a picnic to set up for the babies. They want to have a picnic today. It's our last day in Pretoria. So come along with me while I do that. And then let's talk about the difference between a content creator, an influencer, and a thought leader. While there are 6 billion people online, less than 5% of them consider themselves to be content creators. The number sits at around 207 million with a reasonable margin of error. The top 10% of creators capture 62% of all brand deals and payouts globally. So when it comes to earnings, the 10% rule persists here as well. The top 4% of creators earn more than $100,000 per year, and 50% of those creators only earn about $15,000 per year. These numbers have improved since I personally worked on reporting and distributing social media and influencer marketing data all the way back in 2023. Back then, only 5% of creators earned a livable wage from creating content online. Not everyone is a content creator, and not all creators are made equal. So yes, influencers, thought leaders, key opinion leaders, and subject matter experts, bloggers, podcasters, and substackers who show up online are creators too, but they function completely different. Thought leaders, for example, don't always make money from posting and creating content, but they use creation as leverage to make money from something else in their careers. But influencers and content creators, they make money directly from putting content online. I've heard people use the term influencer, content creator, and thought leader interchangeably as if they mean the same thing, and they could not be more different. They earn differently, they show up online differently, as well as different functions and ways that they need to operate while they are online. There's different requirements for you to make it as any one of these three things. I have worked a specific job where I was the head of creator relationships for over 300,000 content creators across the African continent. And I spent months specifically defining the difference between content creators and influencers and helping brands understand what's the difference and how do you work with the two. You're not only going to know how to define the difference between an influencer, content creator, and thought leader, you're also going to know how they function. So what do they do differently? What are the requirements for you to thrive as any one of these three? And the cherry on top of the cake, which I want you to stay until the end of this video for you to actually find out what you can do if you've ever wanted to start showing up online and earning income from it. And the day that you start earning income from doing any one of these three, hit your girl up and let me know, because I really would love to celebrate you. This is a new form of content for How I Do Things, so don't only just watch. Don't just comment. I want you to let me know how you like this video and if you'd like to see more content about this specific subject and also in this style. So I'm Kopano. This is How I Do Things. Welcome. The first one I want us to think about is a content creator and how we're going to define what that is and how a content creator functions. So in the digital world, a content creator, especially in this creator economy, is someone who has become so skilled at ideating, producing, and publishing content that someone is willing to pay for. We are all online, right? Me and you right now, we are online. We are creating content, we are posting. Private, not private. We're online, sis, right? Now here's the thing. Not all of us are being paid for it. People who are really good and so skilled at coming up with ideas of how to communicate a story, how to create videos, how to create blog posts, how to create podcasts, how to take pictures of content that is then going to be published online, that person is a content creator. So the value of that person isn't necessarily them or their face or their voice, but it is what they produce. And they become so good at producing that thing and publishing that thing that people want to pay them. Who pays them is a completely different thing, but people want to pay them. I created my first blog when I was 17 years old, and I don't even think my parents knew that I had a blog. When I was 18, I continued to blog. I think I posted like probably 4 times a year because nobody cared and I didn't really know what I was doing. Then when Facebook launched, I started my own Facebook page. Later that year, when I was in matric, the last year of high school, and then one Miss Tea in South Africa, and my life completely changed. That blog was a place where I started to share what was happening. At that time, I was just a content creator. I was putting content out. I had about 2,000 people come to my website or my blog page every single month. And at that time, when I used to look at Google Analytics, that was a huge thing. And I mean, Google Analytics wasn't even a huge thing at the time, but I knew that I could use it to find out how many people were coming to my blog at the time. Then there comes the influencer. And this is something I want you to remember, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. that every influencer is a content creator, but not every content creator is an influencer. Because fundamentally, when we look at what an influencer is, this is a person, human or AI, who has developed the trust with a specific audience and a following of people who believe what the influencer says and they act on it. Every influencer is a content creator, but not every content creator is an influencer. Yes, influencers have to create content. That's who we are, taking selfies of ourselves. Because the value is you as an influencer. And creating content is the way that you get yourself out there. How people see you, hear you. They want your knowledge, they want to know what you like, and they trust you. One of the most important terms when it comes to knowing the difference between a content creator and an influencer is people trusting your voice as an influencer. You have to influence, share knowledge, share information, and because you shared it as an influencer, people will move as a result of it. So they will change their thoughts, they will change their actions because they were influenced by you. In 2010, I got invited to my first influencer event. I was like, what is an influencer? And the brand was a huge telecommunications company in South Africa. And they were like, no, come, let us know what you think about the thing and share about it on your Facebook page. That was the first time I learned about being an influencer. And ever since 2010 and again in 2011, I've actually been earning every single year from being an influencer. So people didn't always need me to post on my own personal profiles, but they actually wanted me to be there, tell people about it, or even to show up on TV. They drove me across the country. They flew me on different flights to go to different events, to speak on stages, because I was an influencer amongst a specific audience. Then we move over to thought leader. Now, a thought leader isn't necessarily a person who has lots of followers. They don't even have to be online. But because of this conversation and the creator economy, I want us to think about people who are showing up online. Thought leaders are people who lead, right? The value is in their ability to lead with thoughts, to create transformation because of what they say and what they communicate. It can be any form of content, and it can be showing up anywhere, where they have lots of followers or not. I remember seeing a video online with somebody who said that she shared a video, got 50 views, but she got paid, flew across the country to speak about that specific topic. She's a thought leader, not an influencer, and not even a content creator. Because what makes a thought leader is not their ability to show up online. It's not their ability to even convince people of things through information or through knowledge. It is actually their credibility and authority to speak on a specific topic. And this is why it often gets called key opinion leader or topic matter expert, because a lot of the times they are very similar and the same thing. They have developed enough credibility and authority to speak on a specific matter and lead people with their thoughts, experiences, and expertise. This is not just about knowledge and information, because, Google it, right? This is actually about that person's credibility and their authority to speak on that specific matter. So they don't even have a niche. They don't even have a specific target audience. They're more of an industry or topic type of person, and they've built their brand enough that if you were to meet them for the first time today, because of their experience, because of what they know, because of their personal brand that they built and the authority and credibility they hold in that position, you listen to them, and their skill and ability to communicate, to transform your thinking, transform how you live your life, and not only for you to get information, but for you to know what to do with that information. As I continue to grow as a digital communication specialist, I started to work in the space of digital communications. I worked in influencer campaigns. I worked on guest lists, on brand deals, on brand campaigns, being an account manager and as a brand manager. So as I continue to grow in that competency and start to share that online on my LinkedIn profile, I started to create a following for myself specifically on that. Yes, I've got a postgraduate diploma in corporate communication, so it does make me a communication specialist, but also because of my work experience and the level of work that I have done, the brands that I've consulted with, the campaigns that I have done both as a content creator, but the ones that I was behind as well, I built the authority to be then known as a thought leader within the space. Now, this functions completely differently, and what people want and ask from me, also completely different. And the reason why I only became a thought leader almost 10 years into me doing content and also being a digital marketing professional, there's a reason for that. A big conversation that many people want to know is, do I need a lot of followers? Do I need a lot of likes? Do I need a lot of people to view my content? Is it about the money? Here is where we actually tell the difference for each of these different types of people. Okay, so let's start with the content creator, right? So this is the person who is creating content online, and they are definitely visible online. they are being paid to create content, right? So not every piece of content that they're creating is content that has been paid for, because you have to create content so people can see that your content is worth the money in the first place. So yes, they are skilled, they are good. It's their ideas, it's their filming style, and that's what they're known for. They're known for their style and ability to make the piece of content. So whether it is a video, whether it is a blog post, article, blog, like a Substack, newsletter, email, it could be voiceover, right? But some sort of content that they're creating, they are known for their style and ability to make it just worth the money. Then their content is the value. So what they're able to produce with that skill is the value, and that's what people then pay them for. And when they show up online, what you want to see is not even them, it's the content that they're creating. So no, they don't have to actually have a lot of followers. Their content just needs to be really good. These are also UGC content creators. So UGC is user generated content. And what would end up happening is that brands, or they can even reach out to people and say, hey, let me create this content for you, which then looks like I'm just a normal human being creating content because it's beautiful, communicates, it can be used in ads, right? So brands would often work with the content creators because they want to use the content as an ad. So this individual makes great content, doesn't have a lot of followers, so create the content on our behalf and we will use it on our page. That's one way of using it. Brands also work with them so that they can put money behind it. So yes, you can put your own face, you can be in the content, but we like how you create content about our brand and your style and how you've proven yourself. So even if you don't have a lot of followers, they'll put money behind it and boost it. That's the language that some people know. Or they would put money behind it and turn it into an advert. So yes, it would be on that person's page, but because they've partnered with a brand, they'd put some money behind it so it can have more reach. And then they also sell the skill of content creation. So that's why I speak about videographers as well. So a lot of the times you'd find really talented content creators. I really love Tandi Gama for this reason. She helps people create content as well. Friends within her network also would say that Tandi shot this for me. She has a content studio. So she's a talented content creator, but she's also an influencer. So let's hop over to that one. An influencer, they are visible online, definitely. That's where they build and make up their name and build their career. They're also creating content, right? But here's the thing, they are known within a specific topic or niche. While a content creator is known for a specific style, an influencer is known for a topic or niche. Now, when I talk about niche, I could say beauty, homeware, real estate, finance. So they're known within a specific cylinder. The key thing about influencers is they build the authority to talk about, share and talk about specific information and knowledge. So they would tell you about like, what is this mic? Where is it from? Why do you use it? Especially if you're a tech content creator or an influencer, right? So they share knowledge and information. It is very rare, or it does not happen for you to find an influencer who does not share information or knowledge. Like that's what they actually do. And so following is an important thing for an influencer. Your following shows and is a sign of your credibility amongst your audience. So right now, yes, brands are looking at working with micro creators and micro influencers. That's because they have a lot of authority and trust within their audience. So yes, I only have 10,000 people who are following me, but those people really trust me. The trust factor is super high. So then how do influencers end up making money? They make money from brand deals. So brands then want to say, hey, talk about my product because your audience listens to you. So I want your people to not only see the thing that I'm talking about, but they want to trust it. They're buying trust. Right? They're not only buying the audience, they're buying trust from the influencer. They make money from their following. So for example, with YouTube, if I have 170,000 subscribers on my channel and my viewership is high, YouTube then pays me from AdSense. There are creator programs on TikTok, on Instagram as well. So the size of your audience is something that an influencer also makes money from. And right now we have a lot of influencers going into business. So if I'm going to influence you to buy someone else's products, why can't I influence you to buy my own? Especially if I'm speaking about a specific thing. So for example, as an influencer, I have sold my own digital products because I have been a businesswoman since day one. I am an entrepreneur and I've helped other people build their businesses, but I'm also a thought leadership coach. I help people build their influence as well as their thought leadership online so that they know what type of content to create. And that's why I've started the cohort, which is my 12-week content creation challenge specifically for thought leaders. So it's not for content creators, it's not for influencers, it's for people who are like, I have authority, I have credibility, and I want to grow as a thought leader online. Teach me how to create the content. So as an influencer, not only do I influence people in order to do that, but I have the authority to talk about it. So I speak about what does it mean to be online, what type of content should you create, all of those things. That's the information that I share. And the key thing that then differentiates an influencer from a thought leader is this one very point. Yes, a thought leader is also online. A thought leader is not topic or niched, they are industry specific. So what will happen a lot of the times with a thought leader is that they work within a specific industry and they're able to speak about that industry. Another thing about the thought leader is that they probably have a viewpoint, not necessarily a niche or just a topic. A lot of the times a person builds up their thought leadership because they not only have authority, but they have credibility. So they have years of experience. They have been doing this for some time. They have many cases that they have gone through. So they not only have the knowledge and the information about this thing, they have experience, they have degrees, they have job titles that add to the credibility of what they're doing. Now, the reason why a lot of influencers then become thought leaders is because they've been doing it for years. So they become a topic matter expert because of the experience that they've gained. And this is where we start to see the difference between an influencer and a thought leader. While an influencer shares information and gives you a call to action, a thought leader tells you what to do about this in a form of transformation. Leadership is influence, but the main difference is that a thought leader is able to cause change. It's not just about go buy this or go do this, but because they're sharing thoughts and opinions, they change your mind about something. They go deeper on the matter. They really explore topics and cause a paradigm shift for the people that they are leading. So it's about leadership. And leadership is about taking people from one place to another. So how do thought leaders make money? Key difference. While with a content creator and influencer, it kind of is the point. It's like, I want to become a content creator, I want to become an influencer. With a thought leader, you become a thought leader because of what you've been doing. You become a thought leader because you're an experienced entrepreneur. You become a thought leader because you're an experienced, CEO. So thought leadership is something that comes after the fact. It is leverage and a tool as opposed to being the point or the goal. So you use your thought leadership to do other things, or you become a thought leader because you've been doing other things. And that's a main difference with a thought leader. So that's why influencers become thought leaders, because they've been doing it for long. Here's the thing that I forgot to say. A very big difference between how influencers and thought leaders share information is that one shares information and the other shares insight. A thought leader shares information and knowledge based on their experience. So I'm not just going to tell you, the 5 steps to doing this. I'm going to tell you how that happened through my experience and my insights that I've gathered from it. So I'm not going to tell you that use this foundation. I'm going to tell you that from my experience, this is how it has worked for me and for other people and in the industry and how it's developed and all of that stuff because I've experienced it and I've drawn insights from my experience, and that you cannot Google. Shoot, girl, this feels like it's been long. Wow. Let's get to the point of this. How do you actually start to build yourself up and be intentional about becoming an influencer, content creator, or a thought leader? Number one is that you're going to create content. All 3 of these people create content. Influencers and thought leaders actually can create ugly content and no one cares because they want to know what they're saying. So that's why you can find influencers who don't have the best content quality, because what matters more is who they are and what they're saying as opposed to how beautiful it looks. But yes, for influencers, if you want brand deals, create good content, girl. Okay, so you cannot escape creating content. It's something that you must do. Get out there, create content, show and prove who you are, what you know, and what you are able to do through your content. No matter what platform it is, it doesn't matter. I don't care what people say, which platform it is. You have to just show up consistently, minimum 3 times a week with short form content. And if you really want to stand out there as a thought leader, create long form content at least once a week. The second thing is you have to then determine what's the end game. Why are you doing this? What do you want to do it for? For many thought leaders, they want to do it because they want to get promotions, they want to grow their businesses, they want to start becoming speakers, right? So then they start posting content to prove that they know what they're doing and therefore showing up as a thought leader. Do you want to be a content creator and be paid for the ideas you have on how to communicate online through content? Then make sure that you're showing people that. If you want to be an influencer and you want to be paid for people to see you and talk to, and the fact that you are there is something that people pay for, then you need to decide that that is my end game, meaning that if you're an influencer, you need to start amassing a following. You need to start being able to gain that trust and prove that people trust you by having high click rates, high engagement, high share rate. Every single one of them has a metric for success. You need to decide what is your end game, what is it that you want to achieve, and then pick the type of person you're going to be based on that. Once you have picked that, then you need to say, this is my goal and this is my strategy for how I'm going to get there. So I'm going to become an influencer. My goal is to get 10,000 followers, people who trust me, and I want to have a really high engagement rate and a high click-through rate. Meaning that I want people, when I tell them, hey, go check out this website, I want a good percentage of people to click on the link to go to that website to prove that I actually influence people to do things. If you're going to be a thought leader, your goal is then to say, okay, I need to show up X amount of times online with hard-hitting thought leadership, communicating what I know, my insights and experiences to show that I'm credible and I have authority. That is your goal, and to say that I want to be booked for speaking or I want to get a promotion because of this. Then you're not going for following. You are not going for shares and likes. You are going for meaningful engagement with people in your industry who know you and then want to hire you because of what they are seeing and you're posting online. All right, I know I sped through the last part and I think that deserves a video of its own, but girl, this was so different and I really want to know from you in the comment section what you think. I've got to go, I got to feed the babies, I got to make sure that they've watched, but I really want to know what you think about this video and if this is something that you want to see more of, because I am a subject matter expert and I'd love to share more content about this, but it depends on whether you like this video, if you share this video, and if you comment on this video. And if I see the response is good, then definitely we'll do more videos like this. Also tell me about the format. Do you like this type of format, right? Once a week, I think I can definitely be coming up with more vlog style content that really does have more of the funny stuff. But maybe sometimes let's sit down and let's actually have a deep, meaningful conversation about something that you might learn, okay? Let me know what you think. And if you want to join the cohort, which I spoke about earlier, the details are down below. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.